So I don't know if you guys saw this Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson press conference, but I want to talk about this a little bit because it looked like this fight is indeed scheduled and taking place in November. All right, Justin's joining. All right, Justin, we're back out. So now we've moved on from that last topic. We're into a little bit of influencer boxing, if you will. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Did you get a chance to see this press conference?
Yeah, I did.
All right,
I
let's hear
almost
your
feel
thoughts.
I almost feel it's staged. Jake Paul talk. I mean, you're talking shit to arguably one of the most dangerous boxers, heavyweight boxers of all times, one of the most feared men of all times. To say, "Oh, Mike Tyson backed out because he had a bellyache or a tummy ache," it's just like, I know you're trying to sell a fight, and I know and you know what, and this is why I think that Jake Paul is a stage because he goes on in the presser to say like "fuck you, New York," oh, a bunch of Democrats, bunch of this, bunch of that. I think he's accepting the heel role in this. Obviously, everyone wants Tyson to come in and smash Jake Paul. They want him to come in and knock him out. So I think Jake Paul's embracing that and says, you know what, everyone wants me to lose. Fuck everybody. This is how we're going to sell this fight. Mike Tyson is the hero. I'm the heel. I'm going to accept that role. I'm going to trash talk Mike. I'm going to bash him about everything that's civil. And I'm going to bash the city of New York too because I want everyone to tune in to watch me get my ass. But in turn, I'm 30 years old or 28 years old. I'm going to beat this old man's ass.
Yeah, so Lane said the presser was very cringe. It was a little cringy. I actually don't think Jake is that cringy. I think sometimes he does great trash talking. Here's the reason why I thought it felt cringy to me is that he was trying to talk smack, and then he was also going back and forth being like, yeah, Mike Tyson, you were good 20 years ago, but you're not good anymore, so I'm going to show you guys in November. Which is like, okay, it's a lot of people are saying this fight is nonsense because Mike Tyson's too old. So it was a bit bizarre that you'd be bringing that up because that hurts your case in terms of the
Yeah.
legitimacy of this fight. It was very strange. And then later on, he'd be like, yeah, Mike's a legend. This is a very dangerous fight. That's why I took it to shut up all the haters. It was like, but you just said. So I think he's having a little bit of issues just trying to think of things to talk smack about, but then also still boost it up and make it seem like a valid fight. Whether it is or isn't, I'm not necessarily the best judge of that. I still think this seems to be a dangerous fight to me. I know you kind of disagree because of the age. You also think it's a major risk to Mike Tyson, as you mentioned before. But anyways, that was the part that seemed off. And then if you look at Mike Tyson throughout, I'm gonna show you guys some clips. Mike Tyson just doesn't seem to be bothered by any of it. They're going back and forth and he's kind of laughing and joking around, and he just doesn't seem to be riled up by it. And the part in particular that I want to show you guys at the very end here, let me pull this up. Oh, it's not in this clip. Did you see Jake shoved Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I did. And I saw Mike kind of punch him back or punch him in the chest back or something.
Not even punch him back. He was like laughing about it. He went back and he was cracking up, and then he just kind of like threw his hand out in a playful manner. It was so weird. Like it was like two kids play fighting at the park. So that part also seemed really bizarre. Not saying it's fixed per se or staged as you're kind of alluding to, but I don't know. It just seemed weird, and that seemed cringy to me. I want to see.
This is a dangerous fight for Mike, man. If it's a real fight, it's dangerous, man, because Mike being 60 years old, he's lost that kill. When you see Mike in his prime back in the 80s, man, dude, the look in his face, just that death stare, like Mike Tyson could break glass by staring through it, man. He's terrifying. And now to see him like, oh, whatever, I'm smiling, having a good time, like that tells me that he lost his kill, and that makes this fight very dangerous for him.
Okay, we got a couple other comments. Lane says, LOL, Mike Tyson was good 35 years ago, not 20. Yeah. I think 20 he was probably still pretty good at 38, I'm sure. Okay, I agree. I hope Mike Tyson starts as him. Point being, Jake doesn't even really know when. Right, yeah. And then Pern says here, he still is beyond most men, but he is 58. Yeah, I guess a lot of times when I think about Jake Paul, I think about if I were going to go do what he's doing, right? Because he's kind of like a non-fighter that fell in love with fighting later in life, obviously at a much younger age than me, but still. So I imagine, would I ever go in there and step in against Mike Tyson? Hell no. He would annihilate me, right? Like, even if I did a training camp of a year in boxing, it'd be insane. Granted, like, I'm not in my 20s anymore. But so that's how I imagine it. Like, it still seems terrifying to me. I imagine you look at it from a different vantage point. You're a professional fighter. It's different. But I do think Jake is kind of like a regular person just getting in there and training. So that's why I still find it interesting. I just hope that it's a legit fight and nobody comes away with any serious injuries, Mike Tyson in particular. All right, let's just go through a couple more comments here. Oh, we already showed this one. I love the idea he had of legends fighting each other in exhibition fights. Just be honest about the rules. Got it. Yeah, that's a fair point too. The fact that they're wearing the heavier gloves and the way it's structured, and then they're saying it's a professional fight, but it's a bit modified. I definitely see your complaint there.